Hey guys, Mad Dog Miller here with another six-round podcast fighter update. I got John Prince Albert on the line. How you doing, John?
Oh, fantastic. How you doing, Mad Dog?
Pretty good. We haven't had you on the show in a while. Last time we had you on the show was after your last fight with Eric Perez, which was the one with the bad stoppage.
Yeah. I was like, what? 4 months ago? 3 months ago?
Yeah, it was a while
Remember.
ago.
Can't keep track.
Well, even though you didn't tap and even though you were trying to counter position, it was still marked down as your second loss in a row in the UFC. And what makes that interesting is that Scott Jorgensen, your opponent this Saturday, is also coming off his second loss in a row, his last one being a brutal knockout to Eddie Wineland. But it seemed like you both have something to kind of prove. Do you feel like you have to prove anything?
No. I mean, I feel they set us up knowing it's going to be a good fight. I mean, you can speculate that they set this up as loser leaves, but I mean, you can never tell. I mean, they've cut guys after one fight. They cut guys after two. They've cut Dan Hardy after four. You know, I believe as long as we put on a good show, you never know what happens. And that's what I plan on doing. I plan on going out there, put on the best performance I can, and hopefully coming out with the W in the end.
Yeah, so we all kind of hope you get that. You always do put on a good show, and what kind of makes this fight interesting is that you like to stand up and bang, and Jorgensen likes to bang, but he's also a great wrestler. Are you worried about this going to the ground at all? You're kind of well known for having a great guard.
Well, I've never been worried with someone taking me down. We know Scott has the ability. Like, I'm very realistic when it comes to fighting. I'm never that guy that says, "Oh, I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna kill him," or "I know I'm gonna do this. I know I'm gonna do that." Because that's not realistic in fighting. I mean, you can take one punch and you're out. And we look at things on what could happen. You know, we made a game on that. We don't look at how I can beat Scott. We look at how Scott can beat me. And we look at those things, and we know Scott potentially could hold me down and win the fight. So we've been working on a lot of things to prevent him from either taking me down or if I get down, I get right back up. You know, I really don't see him wanting to be in my guard for too long because I do attack too much. He seems to find guys who are complacent in their guard, and then he just pounds the shit out of them. Where like, I don't like to be at my back, so I'm gonna attack, and get up. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. He might change his game plan up because he knows he needs to win and wants to win. And he's a pretty stubborn guy and to stand and bang, but he also wants to win. So I'm expecting more takedowns this fight than his usual stand-up, and that's something I'm looking to nullify.
Well, it'd be interesting if that happens. When you said we're prepping, are you talking about Dennis Hallman, your coach at Victory Athletics?
Yes, I am.
Well, I wanted to cover that really quickly. For those who don't follow the mainstream MMA media, Dennis was having some personal problems at home and was recently released from the UFC. And then shortly after that, Thanksgiving weekend, his house actually burnt down. And so you guys actually have a charity set up for that, don't you?
Yeah, he's had a rough go of it. I mean, I actually haven't been training specifically with him. I've been in and out, you know, just kind of game planning. He's giving me stuff to work on, and then I've been actually cross training with Jeff Hoagland, doing all my sparring over there every night, and just drilling my technique. You know, I was utilizing Dennis as much as I could, but he's just got so much going on, and I'm not trying to take him away from that. And I'm a smart enough fighter to where I don't necessarily need him to call or babysit me. He showed me the things I need to do. We came up with a game plan, and then I'm going to execute them on my own. And that's kind of what's been happening, because I mean, I obviously want him to be able to take care of his life first, because that's most important. I don't believe I'm more important than his family and his kids, and obviously now his house.
But it hasn't really affected your camp at all? Your camp's gone pretty smooth?
Camps, it's probably actually been one of the best camps I've had. Not saying that I've never had great camps with Dennis. I had great camps with Dennis. It's just it's different than what I'm used to. My training's a little better because I got a new sponsor at New Leaf Hyperbarics. They're oxygen compression chamber, so I got tons more energy as far as my training. You know, I'm not lagging in any of that. And then as far as sparring partners, you know, I feel like I've become a tough fighter because all I do is train with big heavy guys, like big heavy guys punching me and not putting me away. You know, like Dennis Hallman, Benji Raddick, you know, back in the day, Brad Blackburn, Len Bentley, like Sterling Ford, all these guys that are just big, strong, great guys, you know. And I kind of mixed it up with camp, and I found some guys more my weight, like Jeff Hoagland and a lot of his training partners. So I'm getting the speed aspect back into it, not just the power aspect. So I think I got a big advantage now against Scott, because I think I'm going to be the bigger, stronger, and I can keep up with the speed now.
I actually read this morning on Facebook, or I believe it might have been last night, you posted you believe you're going to be about 160 pounds for the fight. Is that true?
That's going to be the goal. There's a lot constantly drink water. Just because you're peeing clear doesn't mean you're fully hydrated. And, I kind of would stop drinking when I'm peeing clear. And this time I'm going to drink all the way up to the fight. That way I got good oxygen flow and water and blood flow throughout my body. And I'd like to be 160, so I just go out there looking like a monster and having a big problem for Scott.
You always do look really big at 135. Well, those are pretty much all the questions I have for him. I'm really excited for the fight. I'll actually be there myself, fourth row to root you on. And
that's great. I appreciate all the local support. I'm really excited to fight in front of my hometown fans. It's been a long time. I started my career up here. I know I got a lot of people who follow me since my amateur career. Been my few pro fights up here, and it's just a great opportunity to fight in the greatest organization in the world in my hometown.
That's awesome. Well, we'll be rooting for you, and good luck Saturday. You'll be, for those who don't know, he'll be the second fight on Facebook, John Prince Albert versus Scott Young Guns Jorgensen. Be sure to tune in. Thank you so much, John.
All right.